Hello and welcome to Coffee and Bonsai with Tom. Got an exciting episode for you today. The great plant migration has begun, so I'm starting to move things outside. So stick with it till the end and I'll show you that. But in the meantime, let's prune this beast. You can see it's it's grown quite a lot. Um, this is a variegated. I started this from a cutting last fall. It basically had just a couple of leaves on it and no roots. And look at what it's done. Look at this pot. Take a closer look at it. This is a pot by Candied Clay, and I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. At least I was to the last season. And when I saw this pot, I mean, it looks like a dragon's egg to me, so I had to get it. You can check their website. Sometimes they have different colors. This one is like this beautiful mottled green, which I think goes well with these leaves, but look at this thing. It has just taken off. I just let it grow wild because I wanted it to grow some roots. And, this is the first plant I put in the Akadama soil mix, about 50% Akadama. And this growth kind of convinced me that that's not a bad thing. But yeah, so we're going to tune this up. It's basically sort of a cascade style. It's kind of hard to see. Uh, I had to wire it into the pot here because it had no roots, but you can sort of see the overall shape here. We've got, um, the apex there. We've also got this huge, um, branch coming down the right-hand side and some stuff on the left as well. So this tree's in early development, so I'm just going to start by shortening everything back and we'll see what we've got and go from there. This has some really, really long shoots. I really wanted it to get established and grow a lot of roots, and these are kind of a slow growing variety. So I just let it run all winter, but I will just cut it back. And look at this, all this is just straight, so I'm just going to cut it right back. I don't like this. I mean, there's a lot of long growth here, but it's just straight. So I'm just cutting it back and we'll see what we end up with. If you want taper in your branches, I mean, this is what you have to do, right? You just cut it back and grow it out. It changes direction. Then you do that again and again and again, and you'll slowly get a very nice looking branch. I'm going to take this as, I might get something coming out this way. See some kind of white silky thing on there. I always hit that with a little um, alcohol, but I don't see any evidence of bugs or anything on this otherwise. I'm just going to change the angle here so we can deal with this downward branch. There's not a whole lot I can do with this branch at the moment, so I'm just going to cut it back and hope for some more character. If I get some back budding, I mean, there's a lot of segments on this section that comes down. And so I may, cut it back shorter, change direction. I don't know. We'll see what we end up with. But there's lots to just prune back here and get rid of the shagginess and then go from there. Man, this thing really, really grew. It's kind of unusual. This is just a very slow growing variety. I can't believe all this has grown in the last few months indoors, you know, under lights. But, sometimes trees surprise you. Well, it's starting to look a little more like a bonsai. You can sort of see the structure of what we're dealing with here. Yeah, it's actually really taking shape. So this is a lot of these branches, they're just too low, especially for a tree this short. I want to keep it a very small, compact tree and have the branches kind of uh, in size proportion with the trunk. Yeah, so I'm going to take that off. I think it was cluttering the view and just clean this downward branch up a little. So let me adjust the camera. We'll see what we got here. I think it's already a huge improvement. Actually, that branch on the right, it kind of has a nice kind of sweeping downward look to it. We'll see. I think we'll see what back budding we get here in the summer when I get this outside into the sunshine. But already, much better looking. So looking at it, There's a little thing coming out of the crack there. I'm going to take that off. I'm not sure about this branch here on the right. Let me just clean this up. I'm tempted to cut it off, but we'll see. I don't like these double. It's got these two parallel branches up top. Uh, Let me just spin it around. I mean, it's not horrible, but it sort of draws my eye in kind of a funny way. And I'm tempted to take um, that entire branch off. But let's look at it from some other angles here. Yeah, it even kind of looks worse from this side. This part right here. You know, this is early material, so I'm going to get a lot of growth here. But if I look at how this flows, and I think one of them has to go. This lower branch bothers me here too. I'm just going to cut it off. I mean, hopefully I'll get some more uh, growth there. And this, you know, these are the two I really need to make a decision here. I'm going to take this top one off and see what that looks like. So I think that's an improvement, but I'm going to take it even shorter. You know, if I get some growth up there, that would be the new apex. You know, that's fine. We'll just see. We'll see what happens. I'll shorten some of these others up just to encourage it to get really thick in close to the trunk. And I think that is kind of a wrap for this tree. We're going to prune another one um, here in a minute, but let's take a look at it. I mean, I've kind of taken it down to its bare, um, you know, essence here. Its bare shape. I can imagine, you know, these things that I've left extending, and of course I'll get some new branches. And boy, you can really see this pot now. I kind of like it from this angle. I really like this pot. I think it's a perfect match. And wow, we took off, I don't know, 85%, maybe more, 90%. There's a lot of cuttings there, but I have too many of these, and I think it's a little early to ship them out. So I'll have to recycle those, sadly. But let's take a closer look. This pot, I really can't say enough about it. It has these ridges. I mean, I think it looks good. It feels good to hold it. You know, my daughter did say it looks a bit like a pineapple, which you can't sort of unsee once you say that. But I'm sticking with the dragon egg concept. I probably could take the wire off, but I'll leave it on for now. And I think this is pretty good. I'm really happy with where it is so far. It's got a nice, interesting trunk. Maybe this is a little too long here, so I'm just going to snip that back to get a nice kind of downward sloping angle. And that's a wrap. Fantastic looking tree. I look forward to seeing where it goes. So next up, we have this one. I repotted this, or potted this one up recently. This was a cutting that I rooted in water. Just to try it. I mean, you can do a pretty big cutting here. And I'm just going to clean up the soil a little bit here. But, you know, it's looking good. I'm quite confident it has some decent roots. And, you know, when I first plant these, I don't do anything. I just let them grow. But I think it's time to cut it back now. As I said, I'm going to be moving a lot of stuff outdoors. Here's a branch like right in the crack or the crotch. So I'm just going to take that out. That'll be no good. But, you know, I'm kind of thinking, you know, just prune it back hard and get it ready to grow on. I'm going to take this. This will be the first limb. Here's the apex. Going to cut it off as short as I can. Not a lot of pruning on this one. It's going to be quick. I'm going to take this left side off. And, you know, we've got this branch going out, several going out the back. I don't know which one I'm going to go with, so I'm just going to cut it all back. And we'll see what happens there. And I think that's about it with this one. I love this little blue pot. You know, I can imagine this growing out this way. We'll get a new top. We'll get some stuff coming out the back. I think it'll be a nice, very tiny tree with a nice chunky trunk. You know, it goes to show you you can take a large cutting and sort of make an instant impressive bonsai, you know. So if you have larger material you're cutting back, it's an ideal, you know, opportunity to do something like this. It can be hard to find large material, but it's really, really nice when you do. And it doesn't look like much now. You can sort of use your imagination. It's taking shape, but we'll see what it looks like at the end of the summer. But that one is pretty much pruned up. And as promised, let's move on to the mini tour of the great outdoor migration. First one's an interesting variety. I really thought I was going to lose it, but this is the first one I put outdoors, and boy, it looks so happy. So, you know, I think it's going to survive. Here's one of my Gollum Jades, a couple of them. They've leafed out. There's my Desert Rose. I'm hoping it's going to bloom this year. Look, looks like something's going on there. These are just some random ports I brought outside, but they seem to be happy out here. We pruned this one up recently. You can see people people thought I killed it, but look, we're looking at it from the back, but it's growing out. There's a large jade, a huge trunk. Look at that thing. I'll be pruning that up soon on the channel. Here's one I started from. I'll put a link to this large material. Everyone's looking for an update, but this tree is quite charming, and it has done exactly what I was hoping it would do. It's one of my more popular videos. Here's another large jade. It was about 5 times this height. Cut that back. Oh, this is from a viewer. Gave me some cuttings, which have all rooted and are really taking off. It's just a cornucopia of different jades. This one is my prized variegated Gollum jade. And this is a teeny little, it's a Vietnamese jade, the tiniest thing I've ever seen. Here are a couple of my forests I've really radically cut back recently, and you can see they are leafing out, doing well, even the ones I totally defoliated, and they are happy to be outside, growing. I love the trunks on these. They really have a nice 3D appearance. And, I brought a few forests out just to see how it goes. It might be a little cold for the ports to do much, but I just brought them out, see what happens. So now we move into my rough material. This is the huge forest I started from cuttings with no leaves. You can see it's doing great. And here are some other cuttings. I just threw them in a pot, and they are also growing. This is a lovely little variety. Look at the tiny leaves on this. And this was indoor growth. So I'm super excited. And this is a bizarre looking jade I love. It's another one of those tiny leaved ones. I've got some Gollum Jades here that I just couldn't get rid of. And there'll be a video on this. This is a disaster situation. A squirrel just decimated a tree, but I salvaged those, so I'll replant that. Some more Gollum Jades. I don't know what this one is. It's really an interesting, tight uh, growth. But I'm gonna, I gotta get rid of some of these Jades. I've got too many of them, so I'm gonna give some away at our local giveaway area. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff I have here, it's kind of early. I have a lot more to bring out. You can see I've got my tarp on the top to prevent rain. But that's a wrap for today. I'm all out of thoughts on a thought for the day, so I'm going to skip that today, sadly. So hopefully you weren't tuning in for that. And yeah, I'm super, super excited, elated to be getting stuff outside. And I can't believe how much plumper, like even just in a few days, like the plants just breathe a sigh of relief and just absolutely love being outside. I mean, they grow for me well indoors, but man, they really like to be outside. And with that, that's kind of a wrap for this video. So, I hope wherever you're at, you're able to get your trees out pretty soon. It really makes them Superman strong and grow like crazy. And I want to thank you for spending time with me. And I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon.